What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and today I want to talk about the hierarchy of nutrition for building muscle, specifically for those of you who are naturally skinny and find it hard to put on size. All right, so a lot of the times I'll get emails from people who ask things like, how many meals should I be consuming? When should I take my protein shake? And things of this nature. And my first question is, how many calories are you consuming? And typically the answer is, well, I don't know, right? So people want to know how many grams of creatine they should be including in their shake, but they don't even know how many calories they should be consuming in order to gain weight. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Number one, energy balance. If you can figure out how many calories you need in order to be in a caloric surplus, you'll gain weight. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Until you know exactly how many calories you need in order to be in a positive energy balance, meaning you are consuming more calories than you are expending, you won't gain weight. But once you figure that out, it becomes pretty much a way for you to build muscle or gain weight on demand. Okay, so you're being calculated, you know how many calories you need to put you in that surplus, you're tracking your weight, and once you stall, you know, okay, well, this is not enough anymore. You bump it up, and now you are still, again, in a surplus and gaining weight. And when it's time to lose weight, all you have to do is dock from those calories and work backwards. It's really that simple. So don't worry about, how many meals or how many scoops of protein until you've figured out how many calories you need in order to be in a positive energy balance. If you want a good starting point, I would say multiply your body weight in pounds by about 14 to 16. Consume that many calories every single day. Track your weight every morning and get an average at the end of each week. Match those averages and make sure that you are in fact in a surplus. If that average is going up, you're eating enough. If it's not, then you have to bump up the calories. Okay, so first and foremost, energy balance. Next is macronutrient breakdown. All right, because the goal is not just weight gain, we also want to maximize muscle and minimize fat. It's important that we break down our macronutrients in a way that is going to allow that. So number one, for protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight is going to be more than enough. You could get away with a bit less, but just to be on the safe side, 1 gram per pound of body weight. In terms of fats, what you're going to do is you're just going to multiply your body weight in pounds by 0.3 to 0.4. I would start off a bit lower, and that way when you do stall, you can play with the fats a little bit, maybe bump them up a bit, or you can start at the higher end and just keep them there. It really doesn't matter. If you want to have more fats in your diet just because it's more enjoyable for you, you can. Just remember that when you are eating in a positive energy balance, which is what you have to be doing to gain weight, fats are more efficiently stored as body fat than carbs. Carbs have to go through a process called de novo lipogenesis, and thus for anybody who's training regularly, it's almost impossible to store them as body fat. Now, again, it's not impossible, it's just highly unlikely, especially if you are someone who is active, all right? Not to mention, if you're someone who is already struggling to gain weight, you should never be afraid of carbs. So for your carbs, what you're going to do is pretty simple. Because you know how many or how much protein you need per day and fats, whatever's left over in terms of calories, those will be your carbs. And you're gonna want to have a high carb diet because that's what's going to fuel your workouts. And we all know that the only way to build more muscle is to progress in the gym, and the only way to progress in the gym is to perform better. All right. Then next is going to be, and this is going to throw a few people for a loop, is protein frequency. A lot of the time you'll see science-based guys say, oh, well, meal frequency doesn't matter. What matters is overall energy balance, which is true to a degree. It doesn't matter how many meals we're having, but we do have plenty of research that shows that there is a benefit to a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of times per day. All right, about 3 to 4 separate meals of about 20 grams of protein or higher is going to allow you to maximize food-induced protein synthesis. So you're actually going to allow yourself or put yourself in a position where you are building muscle more frequently throughout the day, right? And so the problem becomes people tend to overthink it and they think maybe I should eat 6 meals, but I think it caps out at about 3 to 4 meals per day. You want to have at least 20 grams of protein. If you want to go a bit higher and that'll help you reach your protein intake for the day, do that. Because proteins are so slowly digested, it's not really an issue of waste, right? If you have 50 grams of protein in one sitting, you're not just gonna piss it out. It doesn't work that way. You are digesting this protein long after you've consumed it, and so that's that. Next, and the final two are micronutrients and fiber, and then supplements. Now, obviously, micronutrients and fiber are much more important, mainly for overall health. Although they don't play a huge role in body composition, they are critical to our overall health. And if your goal is somewhat fitness related, right, I'm going to assume that you want to be healthy. You want longevity, you want to feel good, you want your workouts to feel good. And so this is why it's critical that you're having enough fruits, vegetables, and fiber. Now, because you'll be consuming high carbs, it's going to be hard for you not to hit your fiber, right? So that's probably not going to be an issue, especially when you're having enough fruits and vegetables. What I would recommend is, 2 to 3 servings of each one per day, just to be on the safe side. And that's a pretty good rule of thumb for pretty much everybody, okay? And then lastly is supplementation, okay? This is going to give you a very small advantage. There are a number of supplements that can be beneficial, for example, fish oils or creatine, but you absolutely do not need them. Also, if your energy balance is not in order, if your macronutrients are not in order, then these are useless. Because again, what's important is that we're eating enough and that those calories are coming from the right macronutrients. All right, unless we're doing that, no creatine or whey protein powder or fish oil capsules are going to help. All right, so that's pretty much it. Get your energy balance in order. Make sure you're in that caloric surplus. Then make sure you're getting the right amount of protein, carbs, fats. Space your protein out to about 3 to 4 meals per day just to ensure you're maximizing food-induced protein synthesis. Make sure you're getting your fruits and veggies. And then lastly, if you want to, go ahead and add some supplements. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, click the like button below, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.